All right, what's going on, everyone? Mr. Real Fitness coming at you. And first things first, I want to see how juicy my delts look from this angle. Check this. Alright, now I'm just messing around. So today, this is my third time trying to record this video. Hopefully, will be the last attempt that I need, but you never know. I'm not, necessarily the best with videos, but today what I want to talk about is why Herbalife is basically garbage, and now we have a scientific study to prove it. So, that's some great news. And basically, so there's going to be kind of two parts to this video. I'm going to start off the video by talking about why Herbalife products are garbage, why, Herbalife by itself is garbage, you probably should never go near it. And second, we're going to talk about kind of the business model and why most MLMs are garbage and you're just better off spending your money, spending your time and effort elsewhere. All right, so just to start off, I have my trusty little board here. All right, so this is all kind of notes from the study, and I'm going to go over them, read them along. So the United States Federal Trade Commission in 2016 called Herbalife a scam disguised as healthy living. So, I'm not the only one saying it. A bunch of people aren't the only ones saying it. The United States Federal Commission themselves is saying it. It's BS. Herbalife was associated with liver injury reported from multiple countries in the West. Now, what this study has found is the first case of acute liver failure from the Asia-Pacific region. And this was from a young woman who consumed Herbalife products over a period of 2 months, and she faced this liver failure. And also, there's data within the study that shows similar Herbalife products had heavy metal contamination, toxic compounds, psychotropic substances, and pathogenic bacterial contamination. And basically, the study concludes by saying Herbalife promises fake health benefits, but they don't really have the scientific backbone to back any of it up. And potentially even, they have negative health consequences, right? So basically, what this study, again, this is one study. So one study, as we know in the scientific community, is far from conclusive, but it's some very interesting information because while this is one study, as I pointed out kind of in my second point over there, Herbalife has been associated with liver injury cases in the West as well. So this is not kind of the first thing we're hearing about Herbalife being bad for the body. Now, just I want to touch on a little bit why I think Herbalife is garbage. And a big part of that is not just because, they have a garbage business model. It's because the information that they give to the people is crap. Like, if you ever see some of these Herbalife coaches, I've seen them all over Instagram and stuff, and they're kind of like, and I'm not trying to rag on them because, some of these people genuinely don't know, but they have stickers just like, oh, I lost over 50 pounds, ask me how. And then you ask them, and it's like, oh, I use these Herbalife products, and it was wonderful. But, let's be real. The real reason they lost the weight is probably because they were in a caloric deficit. Because these products, they're not necessarily the highest calorie, and they know when they're selling it to the customer, right? So they know about the caloric deficit part. They know that these products are going to, get those weight loss results because they're going to initiate the deficit. But they're like, oh, yeah, you need these Herbalife products to lose weight. Yeah, no, you just need a caloric deficit to lose weight. You could save a bunch of money just by literally tracking your calories, buying the, more budget-friendly items from the grocery store, and probably more healthy items as well, and going about it that way, And another big problem with this kind of Herbalife is I've watched some documentaries on it. I've kind of seen how they advertise. Their targeted advertising is very much to like a low-income kind of, people who are insecure about their financial situation. So I think that's one reason. This is my personal hypothesis. I think this is one reason that Herbalife's been as popular as it has been in places like India. So if you look at these advertising, it's like this guy surrounded with a bunch of girls, and they're like in a pool, and they got cars, and it's like, hey, if you sign up a bunch of distributors under Herbalife, you could be living this lifestyle too. And realistically, only like 1% of them are living like that, if even 1%. So it's on the edge of kind of like false advertising, like not really false advertising because technically it's possible, but good freaking luck, getting to that point. Now, touching on the business model of MLMs, just to give you a refresher course for those who don't know, basically the Herbalife model and a lot of MLM models is you have one individual, and that individual is going to sell, for example, these Herbalife products. And in order for that individual to make money, they need to have other distributors under them. And the more distributors they can have under them, the more money the person on top can make. So say we have Adam, just as an example. So Adam recruits me as a distributor. so Adam is in Herbalife. He's a distributor. He comes to me. He's like, yo, Muhammad, this is awesome. You need to try this. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I become a distributor. And Adam also signs up like Jack, Jill, and, Kevin, right? So now Adam's actually not making the bulk of his money from selling these Herbalife products. Adam is making the bulk of his money from signing other people under as distributors. Now, even when I say that, it doesn't really sound that bad. So let me elaborate a little bit on why it sucks. Being a distributor is not cheap. Like, being a Herbalife distributor, you're going to need to buy one of their startup kits or whatever. It's hundreds and hundreds, and I know, I've watched documentaries, people talk about they've invested thousands and thousands of dollars into the business, getting almost nothing in return. Because when you become a distributor, you ultimately buy a stock of these Herbalife products to sell on, because you're now a businessman or businesswoman, and you know that they're like kind of convincing you in that. So in order to become a distributor, that's hundreds of thousands of dollars of investment that you need to make. And if you're convincing, your friends and families underneath you to become Herbalife distributors, you're going to end up losing a lot of those connections because you're not really putting them into a legitimate business. You're putting them into basically more or less a pyramid scheme, right? And they're going to be investing lots of money into it. And I think it's just more or less negative for everyone involved. Now, the last thing I kind of want to, just end the video off with is Herbalife is not the only MLM there is out there. And they're not the only ones that touch on these people's financial insecurities. I've personally been to an Amway presentation because I was young and I wanted to, being an entrepreneur was a big dream of mine. And I ran into this guy and he's like, hey, I can show you how to do it. So I'm like, great, right? Like, what could be better? So I went to one of their seminars and he told me to, dress formal. What a waste of my time for dressing formal, honestly. And basically, when I went there, it was just like this family. And they're like, oh, we've been selling with Amway and we're so rich and we have this car and that car and we got this and that and we're just, everything's so well and we pick our kids up, we go on vacation. I'm just sitting there like, okay, when do I get the information on how I can start my own business, how I can work towards something? And, they didn't give me that information because it wasn't there. There's no substance in these businesses. They're not going to give you, and if you don't believe me, attend one of the seminars for yourself. They're constantly touching on people's financial insecurities and they're selling you this crap. So, I feel really strongly about it. I think all MLMs are BS. I don't think you should invest even a minute of your time into it. But I'm glad we have some scientific evidence to back it up and, more or less say that they're crap. So, I hope that helps some of y'all out. Thanks for watching. I'm going to sign out. Peace.